can tell you, Emile, is everything is in place. Many, many years of, blood, sweat, and tears, learning from hardcore what to do and what not to do. We learn everything. Every time we make a mistake, you learn. That's when you learn. And we're doing it on a daily basis. Still, I've just come off a Zoom call now with a new community in South Africa of 6 small towns that want to join us, and dealing with the problems and dealing with the third world meets the first world problem, which you don't have in Sweden. So we're navigating far more much bigger problems in South Africa and in Brazil and India, and where you have first world and third world conditions living side by side. So to solve these problems is a lot more complex and challenging than to solve a one small town issue in a country like Sweden.
With me, Michael Tellinger.
Hello, Emile. Lovely to see you. Lovely to meet you. And thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. So today we're going to talk about your movement, who started out as Ubuntu and now is called One Small Town. And what I wanted to talk about today is your progress the last couple of years, and how can we start one small town in Sweden?
Thank you, Emile. First of all, it's really important for us to get the One Small Town initiative launched in Sweden. Sweden plays a critical role in all of Europe, obviously Scandinavia, but south of it in Europe, to influence the greater European community and inspire them to follow your example and start the One Small Town initiative to create a secure future for themselves in their small towns and their small communities, a secure future in food security, healthcare security, technology security, energy security, in every possible sphere of our lives. And that's what One Small Town does. And that's what's taken so many years through blood, sweat, and tears, and many slings and arrows, and working out how this thing works and how to put it together and how to create a system that makes it safe and secure and protects everybody that gets involved in the One Small Town initiative, from the members of the town to the investors and so forth. So I'm really keen to see and help you and guide you through launching the first One Small Town in Sweden. That's going to be a great pleasure for me and for the rest of the One Small Town community around the world.
I'm really glad you're taking your time to do this, because I'm with you in that Sweden has a big role in this movement or pushing it forward, because Sweden always been a safe place and always been seen as a democratic country, and so I think we got a good base to stand on, and I think we could be a good role model for the rest of Europe. So how do your progress now in the last, you started this, is it 18 or 17 years ago?
Well, I started talking about this idea around 2005, just when I was releasing Slave Species of God, my first book. That's when I realized the origins of money, where money came from, how it was originated, who first created it, and it was very different from what we get taught at school. And I suddenly realized, oh my goodness, the way we use money today, the way banks work, is exactly the same way that the first money was introduced in Sumeria some 4000 BC, or probably further back in time. So that made me realize that money is a slavery system. It's a slavery system that enslaves all of us. And we just don't know about it because we're born into a world controlled by money, and we believe that this is the only way things can work. So I started to talk about what would happen if you remove money from the system. And very quickly, I realized that, my goodness, if you remove money from the system, everything works a lot easier. It's just, how do you manage that if there's no money? Because at the moment, we see money that controls everything. But it's also the block and the hurdle to stop progress. So and that slowly but surely, I got more and more excited and did more and more research and thinking about this. And slowly but surely, the Ubuntu movement was formed. And Ubuntu is a South African word for unity within community, people working together for the greater benefit of everybody in our community. It's an ancient philosophy that lives in Africa. It's still in the hearts of most African people, especially in the rural areas, not in the cities, but in the rural areas. And all ancient civilizations have the same system. They had the same system of Ubuntu, just they gave it different names. In ancient times, communities survived by working together and supporting each other, working together for the greater benefit of the community. And that was destroyed. So that led to the Ubuntu movement, and eventually the One Small Town initiative was born out of that. And so since basically 2020, since 2014 or so, the One Small Town initiative started to develop when I released the Ubuntu book in 2014. That's 10 years ago. So the One Small Town initiative has now been alive and well for 10 years, growing, evolving, getting better, getting stronger. And today we now have, I think at the last count, we have about 30 ambassadors in about 20 countries. I can't recall. It's growing so quickly. And we have at least 200 ambassadors that have signed up to be ambassadors for One Small Town, to start the One Small Town initiative. We are actively busy with small towns in South Africa, Lebanon, Croatia, Canada, about to start in the USA, and I'll forget some other countries now. And it's just growing like crazy. But to do that, to get to this point, we realized that we had to create a very strong and stable, powerful IT blockchain platform to manage all of this. Otherwise, it's impossible to manage this kind of thing on an international level. It's going to grow and grow exponentially as soon as we allow it to. In the past 3 months or so, or 2 months or so, we've had to stop the signups of ambassadors because we can't manage it. It's growing too quickly. And we need to first make sure that our blockchain platform and IT platform is 100% perfect, or, it'll never be 100% perfect, but as perfect as it can possibly be. And then we can open it up so we can engage with everyone that wants to start a One Small Town and wants to become an ambassador.
And I'm gonna put some links down below as well, both to your videos and also to your book, because it's translated into Swedish. We're also there's a guy who's done your a version of your One Small Town in Swedish. So I'm gonna put the links down below for those who can't really manage the language.
Great, wonderful.
Can you tell me a little, because this is you can say this is a system change. So what you actually concluded is that the old system is broken and we need a new system. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I think most people are aware that the old system is broken. It doesn't work. It doesn't help anybody. Everybody is miserable. There are very few people that think that their lives are beautiful, that are happy with their life, the way their life is going. Very few people. In fact, I'll tell you that for 14 years traveling the world, doing these lectures, I often start my lectures by saying, please, by show of hands, how many of us are happy with the way the world is going? Put up your hand. And I can tell you, in 14 years, nobody ever put up their hand. So it's very clear that everybody is unhappy with what's happening in the world. But very few people know what to do about it. And the reason they don't know what to do about it, because they don't have a full comprehension or an understanding what drives the system, who's behind the system, who controls it, who the puppet masters that control our countries and control our presidents and our leaders and the World Economic Forum and the banks, and who owns the banks, and who has the right to create money. So most people don't understand what money is, where it comes from, and why it rules our world, and why everything is now suddenly controlled by the banks. You can't do anything without a bank approving you today. It's become an absolute economic prison for all of humanity. So people have no idea how to get out of it. And that's why the One Small Town initiative is so critical, because it addresses all these problems, all these things that we need to deal with, and that what we need to get out of. But the most important thing that I need to tell you and your viewers is that the One Small Town issue never, ever engages in fighting the system, because you achieve nothing by fighting the system. What we are doing with One Small Town, we are using the existing system. We're using all the tools that they created. And we have a slogan for this. We're using the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. And we use these tools of enslavement, and it's money, it's the legal system, it's the corporate structure, it's the cooperative structures that we can create, it's the tax rebates, it's the tax-free incentives, it's all the system that was created for us, manufacturing, etc., technology. So we're using the tools of enslavement to create a new system that is eventually, hopefully very soon, going to make this current system obsolete. The more people join the One Small Town initiative, the more One Small Towns we have around the world, very quickly could make the existing system obsolete. I must be careful what I say here, because this is a very powerful thought. Just imagine 100,000 towns around the world, all working together, all sharing the same Infinity token with their digital wallets, all trading and sharing with each other, not having to exchange any money, all growing insane amounts of food that's feeding the world, that the 100,000 small towns are the technology hub, the food hub, the health hub, the energy technology hub for the world, which it's going to become. What happens to the leadership of the countries? You see where this is going. It's a very interesting situation. And I can tell you right now, we can get there within 2 years. Within 2 years, we can get there. I know it sounds impossible to someone that's just found out about One Small Town, but yeah.
I actually don't think it's impossible at all, because we're standing in a break point in society right now, where we're going to see a lot of changes, and I think we're going to see a lot of changes even this year. So I think it's a key point, a key thing to have these solutions ready when the old system breaks. That's the part where we really need to push it through and
yes,
and show there is better solutions and other ways to do it. Because I started my journey almost 30 years ago, looking into what other systems is there that we can use. So, and the only system you found in that time was direct democracy, and what they said about direct democracy in that time was we don't have the digital infrastructure to handle it, and that and Ubuntu is, or One Small Town is the only two actually solutions that don't include force or a violent revolution. And I think that's a key thing, is if we're going to go from one type of society to another, we're not going to make it if we do it in a violent way.
It's really important, again, to remind ourselves that war and conflict has never produced solutions. It creates more division and more opposing factions that want to regain this or get this back or get that land back or get those back for what they did to us. And so this is just, conflict and war is not a solution. It is actually a very clever trick to keep us in perpetual conflict and division. So I would like to go on with how to implement One Small Town in Sweden and talk about specific steps that need to be taken, especially in this one town that you mentioned is possible, that we can launch One Small Town in Sweden. So the first thing we need is we need to find an ambassador, somebody that's going to sign up as an ambassador, tick all the boxes, and that ambassador needs to be a very special person, somebody that is financially independent, somebody that has got time on their hand, somebody that doesn't have a job, that has to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go to a job. So that person, the ambassador can't be that kind of person. But it needs to be a humanitarian, a successful individual who has got residual income, or a business that gets money, that they don't have to work, but they are a humanitarian that want to help bring their community into the one small town mindset and initiate it in their town. So that's the kind of ambassador we need. It's very difficult to appoint ambassadors that have a job or that are struggling with paying their bills. You can't do this work because you're still struggling to survive yourself. So you can't help other people. You need to take care of yourself. And we encourage all the people that are in that position to take care of yourself. Make sure that you're taken care of. You will take care of your family and your community by joining the One Small Town Initiative and benefiting from being a member of the One Small Town Initiative. That's going to bring huge benefits to you and your family and your future.
It's an interesting phase, this. The thing or the base on this interview is actually to try to kickstart a town in Sweden, and I'm going to do an interview with the people that are going to be involved in that project in Swedish, so we can talk about the whole splitting up with who's going to be ambassador and who's going to do which parts, because we're going to need a steady base of people who can, as you say, work on this project more or less full time. Otherwise, I don't see it happening as well. So, but we got those people is out there, and
So the first thing that happens, we find an ambassador. That ambassador becomes a member of One Small Town, appointed as the ambassador on our platform. So when I say platform, I mean our IT/blockchain platform. On that platform, everything is done. Everything in One Small Town happens on our platform. From appointing the ambassadors, then the ambassadors signing up members in their town to join and become registered members. And everyone that joins the One Small Town Initiative, from the ambassador to every member that signs up, automatically has an account opened under their town. So when we sign an ambassador for a town, so let's call it Town X, that Town X becomes a ring-fenced One Small Town Initiative under the global One Small Town umbrella. And it's taken us quite a while to actually figure out the financial systems, how does this all going to work, the accounting systems and so forth, the project management system. So all of this has been developed on the platform. I would say it's about 95% complete. We're still fine-tuning the final few phases, but most of this is ready. So the ambassador gets appointed. The ambassador has an account. Once you have an account, you can then have access to everything that happens within your One Small Town activity. So it's fully transparent to the members of One Small Town in that town. So you can see what businesses are being started, how much money it requires to start that business, who are the investors, what is it going to take to start that business, what kind of special skills are needed, whether it's a brewery or a cement factory or farming, you need special skilled people. How much is it going to cost to run that business and so forth. So everybody can see, when you sign up as a member, you have full access and full transparency of what we're doing in our town. Because when you sign up as a member, there are two things that happen. You become a co-owner of all the businesses that we start. That's why it's such a powerful thing. And to become a co-owner, you need to contribute and pledge to contribute a minimum of 3 hours every week towards one of our businesses. And those are divided into either businesses that make money or community development projects that uplift our town, fix the roads, clean the parks, help the orphanages, help the old age homes, help the clinics. So there are community projects that cost money that we're going to do as a community because we choose to make our town beautiful. That's what we're doing from the bottom of our hearts. We choose to do that. And then there's the other businesses that make money for us and make food and produce and technology and fridges and cars and everything else that we build as businesses in our town. Those are the other businesses that we then work in. So you're either going to contribute 3 hours towards one of the businesses or 3 hours a week towards community upliftment. It doesn't matter. As long as you contribute your 3 hours a week, you are a member, a contributing member of One Small Town, and you're then eligible to receive all your benefits. So let's start talk about the benefits, because I've mentioned the word benefits. The benefits to our members, very simple, is the collective food and technology and everything that we manufacture and build and create in our town from all our businesses. A portion of that is allocated to be distributed to all our members equally. So as long as you contribute your 3 hours a week, in other words, 12 hours a month, that's the minimum, 4 sessions of 3 hours a week, then you're eligible to go to the One Small Town store and get your basket of goods at the end of every month. And you'll also see online what are the profits from all the businesses that we've started, how much profit is being distributed to all our members. So you can see, wow, this month I'm getting 1,000 euros, and next month, last month I only got 800 euros. This month I'm getting 1,000 euros because we started new businesses, we're making more profit. So you're getting a basket of goods. It could be food, bread, milk, flour, whatever, oranges, whatever we grow in our town. We allocate to ourselves, and the rest we sell, and that brings in the profits. So keep in mind that whatever food we grow, whatever we manufacture, whatever we do, a small percentage of that is calculated for ourselves. So we must make at least what we need and grow at least what we need. And then we must grow and manufacture as much as we possibly can, more than what we need. In some instances, it's going to be 3 times as much as we need. In some instances, it could be 100 or 1,000 times more than we need. Like if we're brewing beer, for example, we're not going to distribute 100 liters of beer to every member every month. Everybody will, we'll agree that everybody's going to get, 6 bottles of beer every month, and that's it. And the rest of the beer is sold to make profit for our town, right? So you can see different businesses will feed back different percentages of that product to the community to be distributed. When we make cornflakes, for example, we're going to allocate, everybody gets 2 kilograms of cornflakes a month. The rest of the cornflakes are sold to the world. So if we make, 100 tons of cornflakes a month, we're going to sell a lot of cornflakes because we don't need 100 tons of cornflakes for our community. So just get the people the idea of how the distribution of the food and the basket of goods works. And then every time you contribute your 3 hours a week, you also get our Infinity token automatically deposited into your digital wallet. And that's the big new benefit that was just really created about a year ago, where we came up with the idea, how do we manage the people when they are allocated 3 hours a week, go work there or do this for 3 hours a week. We need to manage those weekly contributions by our members. So there was a ticket, punch ticket card system. Well then why don't we rather turn that punch ticket card system into something valuable? Because we need to prove that that person did something. And that's when we started to develop the blockchain platform, and we came up with the Infinity token as the proof that you've come and contributed your 3 hours a week. So now we not only have proof that you contributed your 3 hours a week, but you benefit from it by earning that 1 token for your 3-hour session, right? So you become a member, you open an account. With your account, you automatically get a digital wallet, the One Small Town digital wallet. And every time you contribute your 3 hours, Infinity token gets deposited into your digital wallet. All our members get membership cards. It's a little plastic card with a QR code on it. It says One Small Town member with a QR code. That QR code is your membership number, basically. So when we do projects, our project managers in your town, we're going to have to come up with businesses and projects. So let's first talk about community upliftment projects, because it's a lot easier and a lot quicker to get a bunch of people together to start cleaning the streets and the parks and so forth. We can do that tomorrow. But to start a business is going to take a little bit longer, right? So our community upliftment projects can start very, very quickly, but we need a system to figure out, what are we going to do? We're going to clean the street. Okay. how is that project going to work? So every project needs a project manager. So we're going to have a project manager attached to every business and project that we do. Now, the project manager gets a QR code scanner on their cell phone. And then when people are told where to go by their cell phone, go 3 hours, do your 3 hours over there, over here. You arrive at the project and the project manager is there with a QR scanner. They scan your card, your membership card, and it logs you in to say that Michael has arrived to do his 3 hours on picking up rubbish in the park. And then at the end of the 3 hours, I go and to the project manager and he scans me out. If it's not 3 hours, then it won't scan. It has to be 3 hours. And then after 3 hours, you scan the card and it logs it. You have contributed 3 hours towards your community, and it puts an infinity token into your digital wallet. So that's how that system works. But now I'm going to backtrack a little bit to say, if you have questions, you must ask Emile, because I can carry on.
I will put in the questions if I got, and I'm going to have a couple of questions when you're finished. So please continue the token or the system.
Yeah. So now, how do we assign projects? How do we develop business plans? How do we start this? How do people know where to go, what to do? And this is what became a huge logistical problem. And this is why I say to people, don't believe that you can do this on your own. It's taken 17 years for us to get to this point with vast blood, sweat, and tears of learning of what not to do. Please use this facility that we've created for towns and communities to do this for themselves. Remember, you're doing this for yourself. You're not doing it for me. We're just providing the system and the platform for you to be able to do it successfully, do it without people stealing anything, without people lying, with complete transparency. That's what the One Small Town system is all about. In essence, it's like a giant global franchise to create abundance and prosperity for small communities, right?
So how are the towns going to grow? So if, for example, if we have a town, how are we going to make the next town beside our town?
I'm going to get there. So keep that question. It's a very important question. The small town is very important that you have boundaries. Otherwise, anybody can just sign up to be a member. And this is very important. This is why when we appoint an ambassador for a small town, the people that sign up as members in that town must sign up face-to-face. You can't do it online. Otherwise, anyone from New York or Lebanon or Sydney can sign up as a member. And we had that problem in the beginning. That was one of the lessons we learned. People just want to be part of this. And they lie. They make up an address. They say, I live in Kuruman. And they make up an address and they put it, and then suddenly you've got members that don't live in the town, but ultimately it doesn't matter because they won't arrive to do their 3 hours a week. So if a member doesn't arrive to do their 3 hours a week, then the system will know that they haven't done their 3 hours a week and they're not going to be eligible for any of the benefits. So after a few months, the system automatically kicks those members off the members list. So it's programmed like that. So we don't have dead wood and clutter of people that claim to be members. And that's why we changed that membership sign-up system that only the ambassador can sign up members face-to-face. They can come to your office. You set up an office in your town. People come to the office and they sit there, they sign up. There's a scanner. You scan your face. We scan your ID documents. So we do a full-on KYC because this is not a joke. This is very serious. And if people don't want to sign in and put their details in, then they can't join One Small Town because we need to know this is a real living, breathing human being. We need to know that they live in this town, and we need to know where they are in case we need to get hold of them if something happens. Either happens to them or if they do something that undermines the One Small Town initiative. So these are the control systems that we've built to manage this for the benefit of the community. So we sign up members, but the ambassador can also sign up agents that can go out, and the agents can also then sign up more members. So the ambassador is not the only person that has the capacity to sign up members, because we want to sign up as many members as we can. So the ambassador can call in 10 of their close friends. They sign up as the first members, and then the ambassador appoints them as agents. And the ambassador does this on the platform, on the blockchain. So Michael Tellinger is now an agent for this small town, and I can go out and sign up other members as an agent. So we can get the membership to grow much quicker. The moment the members sign up, that also helps to push up the value of our Infinity tokens, because the value of the Infinity tokens is based on the number of members we have around the world, the potential of doing the work, and then once they start doing the work, the value goes up even more. So the algorithm that's been loaded on the blockchain is linked to the number of members, the number of ambassadors, and the number of projects and businesses we start, and the number of 3-hour shifts that our members contribute, because that's real sweat equity. Somebody's doing work, and in return, they get a token. So that's why it pushes up the value of the token. The more members we have, the more valuable the token is. And so just so people understand that a little bit right up front. So how do we start this? Sorry, you have a question?
Yeah, I know a lot of the viewers will have a question, and it's about the QR code, and you can actually turn this into some form of communism. So my question is, how are we going to make the people feel secure that this is actually a upgrading system, not a system that's going to keep us in the same place as we always been, or not always, but the last couple of 1,000 years?
Yeah. So the answer to that question is very simple. It's, remember, the businesses belong to the community. The system belongs to the community. The community manages the system. We don't manage it. We provide it. You as the ambassador and your members manage it. Plus you have a council. You appoint your own council. The council has meetings on a monthly basis to decide, wow, which new businesses do we want to start? Where are there any opportunities that we can exploit or for the benefit of the community? So this is a dynamic thing. This is not like a corporate structure. You never see the direct. This is the directors of your one small town community council is made up of the people of your town. They're not the politicians. In fact, we have strict rules that you can't have any politicians or council members on the of the council of the people. The People's Council. You can't have the politicians on the People's Council. They're not allowed to be on the. You're not allowed to be in the municipal council or political council, and then also be on the council of the community. So that's not allowed. So that gives you some security that it's not going to be infiltrated by the politicians.
So who are the people that are going to sit in those communities or in charge of? What are the typical person you want to have in this position?
We need the interesting profile there, because we need trustworthy people, obviously, people that are trustworthy, that the community trusts. And we also need people that are entrepreneurial minded to think out of the box, to help the community come up with new ideas. But you don't have to be on the council to come up with new ideas. And for that, we've created the platform with the Ideas Hub that then leads into the Business Plan Hub, that leads into the Funding Hub, and so forth. So you can see how complex this is. This is just, we've built a monster of an IT blockchain platform that is now bigger and powerful than most large corporations around the world. And we did this in less than a year. So it's been a very, very tough, stressful journey to get this ready so that it can be used by the One Small Town members. So we start the One Small Town, we have an ambassador, we sign up members, we have agents that help the ambassador sign up more members. We identify the business projects and the businesses that we want to start. We identify the community upliftment projects we want to start. We get everybody excited. We print out little T-shirts to show unity and so forth, right? We create a whole spirit of cooperation and working together. That's the most important thing. Now, it's a lot quicker to start uplifting your town. Now, in third world countries, people have nothing to do. There's lots of unemployment, so they have nothing to do. So this is a huge solutions for third world countries where people have no food, they have nothing to do. Now suddenly, if you offer them, you can work for 3 hours every day in one of the businesses or one of the community upliftment projects. And for each 3 hours every day that you work, you get an infinity token and you get a plate of food at the One Small Town community kitchen. This is a game changer. This will help many people to survive, where now they are struggling to survive. So, in Sweden, that's not going to be the problem. But in Africa and in India and Brazil and other third world countries, where you have first world and third world situations. So it's a very interesting challenge, that. So what I recommend to every One Small Town initiative, and it could be the same in Sweden, for different reasons, you set up a community kitchen where at the end of your 3-hour shift, you go and have your plate of food that's provided by our members that cook the food and serve it to our members that have completed a 3-hour shift. So at the end of the day, you go and have your plate of food, you feel good about yourself. In third world countries, that plate of food is going to be a saving grace. In first world countries, that community kitchen will be a meeting place where people come and meet and greet and have a good time. You can have some entertainment there. It could become the One Small Town cafeteria, where it becomes the most exciting place in town. So, you know what I mean? So where people share ideas and come up with more ideas and business plans and business. So I believe that that's critical, that every One Small Town starts out with a community kitchen. Where do we get the food? We get the food from the supermarkets. They throw away a lot of food. Food is about to expire, they throw it away. There are companies in South Africa that collect that food and distribute it to orphanages and so forth. So there are farmers that have extra food that don't know what to do with the extra food. We can get that from the farmers. If they know it's going to a community project, they will contribute it. If they think you're going to sell it to make money, they're not going to give it to you. But if you tell the farmers we need food to feed our people in our community kitchen for fixing our town, then the farmers will contribute that food. And we have the supermarkets that throw away the food. So we set up a task team of people to go and gather the food to make sure we have enough food for our community kitchen, and then start that whole process. And I believe that's a very exciting environment for people to have fun in. We have a morning session and an afternoon session. Eventually it evolved into that, and then at the end of each session, we have the cafeteria that provides the food for the people that have worked in the 3-hour sessions. So now, how do we start the businesses and the projects? And this is where any member of a One Small Town in your community, remember, any member can log on and have access to all the tools of the blockchain platform that have been created, and we constantly upgrading it and creating more. So they have an idea for a business. We call it the ideation site, ideation page. So you click on the ideation page and you put in your idea. It asks you a bunch of questions. You put in your idea for a business or for a community project, and you fill in the forms, and then it tells you at the end of it, this is a bad idea or this is a fantastic idea. And it's a bad idea for the following reasons. Go back and get this, this, and that, and come back again, and then it'll be a good idea because you're missing a few things. So we're creating a platform for any member of the community to come up with ideas for your community, whether it's a business or community development idea. Then it goes to the next level, and that's the first level of business plan. So, okay, we're going to take this idea, we're going to turn it into a business. So it asks you a bunch of questions about the first level of a business plan. And based on what you fill in, it'll tell you this business plan is not a good business plan. You need the following, you're missing the following things. Or it says, this is a great idea. And obviously we've created parameters that checks on the answers that you give. So all of that stuff has been worked on very extensively, and it's just going to get stronger and better all the time. We're going to keep upgrading this, obviously. And eventually, once it tells you that your business idea is fantastic, then you go and fill in a full business plan. And that is a very powerful tool. At the end of that, we have a business plan for anything, whether it's a cement factory or a water bottling plant or a health clinic or any business idea that you have. And that business plan is very important, because that now becomes the one small town global community property that we can then implement in any small town around the world, right? And if it's a very unique business or a very unique idea that requires special, unique skills, there's also built into a royalty for the idea. So if you're somebody with an idea that's going to be used, a royalty will be set aside for that business, so that you don't feel like we're stealing people don't feel that we're stealing their ideas. It's going to benefit their community and the entire global community, and they're going to get a royalty from whatever that idea is. But I don't want to confuse this with technology, for example. We're working very differently with inventors in technology, and we talk about all technologies all technologies. And those inventors, we have very special agreements that we're going to be implementing in the one small town communities. So that's a whole separate part, which is very, very secretive at this stage, because people get killed for that information. So now we have a bunch of business plans, and the whole idea is to fund the businesses. So there are 3 types of businesses that definitions of businesses. There's what we call the grassroots business. And a grassroots business is a business that is obvious, that we as the community can start without any funding. We don't need funding because we have enough money to fund it ourselves. And that could be, growing seedlings for medicinal plants. That doesn't cost us any money. We put the project together, and we still have to write the business plan, but it does not require any funding. So it's a good idea and a good business plan because it doesn't require any funding, but it has infinite potential for growth. It could be brick making. In Kuruman, for example, we have sand and we have lime and we have salt. We can make bricks. We can make an infinite number of bricks, very good quality bricks, and we need very little money, probably no money to do it. Maybe some donkeys with carts to bring the lime and bring the sand. People make a plan. They'll get donkeys to bring the sand and bring the lime and mix it and so forth. So we can start a brick factory with very little money. So I'm giving you ideas. These are what I call the grassroots businesses. Then you have the small businesses that require, a few $1,000 or $100,000 or so forth, or $1 million. And those are the small businesses. And then the big businesses, anything from, $10 million and up. And all these business plans can be then put on our One Small Town website for that town and say, these are the businesses we are starting, and open it up to investors to invest into that community. And this is very attractive. Why is this attractive for investors? It's because when an investor invests into a community imagine a town of 6,000 people, and you have, 4,000 members or 3,000 members, the children are not included, but you have 3,000 members in your town, and an investor invests into a bakery, or let's say something else that's not going to compete against other businesses. Let's say a cement factory. We're going to start a cement factory. That means that now that investor has the entire community as their partner. You're going into a partnership with an entire community, not with one individual. That community has a vested interest in your business because it's their business. You as the investor can only ever own 30% of that. 60% of it is owned by the community. That is the standard model. Okay, it's really important for people to understand it. In any One Small Town initiative, 60% of all our businesses is always owned, a minimum of 60% is owned by us, the people, the community. And right up front, I said, we're bringing the power back to the people in the communities. And that's how we do it. At any business we start, the majority share is always owned by the community. The members of One Small Town, they own those businesses collectively. Investors are invited to invest, but they can only ever own 30% of the business. 10% is retained for management, for royalties, for rentals, for the local One Small Town office in that town. And then 3% gets pushed up to the One Small Town international office. So the One Small Town international office has funding to carry on operating. Because the One Small Town international office has no means of funding. It is the central management office. So it gets funded from all the small towns around the world. That's it. what will probably happen is if and when there's enough funding coming through the One Small Town central office, then that office will then start to reinvest anything other than the cost of running the office, reinvest into small towns and businesses. So it becomes a self-feedback loop mechanism, which is beautiful. Once we get to that stage, then we know we're really conquering the world.
And it's much more superior system than the system we have today. Mostly because what we're talking about is uniting people instead of dividing. And that's if I can understand everything right, that's the whole base of everything. And for the system to work, it needs to be transparent, and it needs to be managed by the people, not by a government or some high authority. So what we're actually doing is you have the pyramid, and what you do is actually turn it around. So.
It's an upside-down pyramid where the people have the control. And let me tell you how important this is. For example, if we have a business plan and we need $100 million to start, a pharmaceutical company for ourselves, which should include all the health and wellness stuff that we know is really good. So we want to start the right kind of pharmaceutical company, and we pitch it to some rich philanthropist. And Bill Gates approaches our town and says, I want to invest. I'll invest $100 million into your pharmaceutical company. We'll say, no, thank you very much. We choose who we're going to use as an investor. Can you see? Suddenly the community has the power. No investor can come in and say, oh, I'm going to put up this and then use you as slaves to work in my factories. Those days are over. It's finished. Once we start a business, no other corporation can ever come into our town and start a business in competition to us. It's simply impossible. Remember that our labor force is free. We don't have to pay for our labor force. We are the labor force in our own businesses. We have management. It's really important. Every business is run by the best possible management that we as the co-owners and the investors put into place. So we have to find the best experts to run and manage that every business. But below that top management level, it's all free. It's us contributing, whether it's accounting systems, legal systems. These are all centralized, a centralized office that we run as One Small Town Community. And we offer accounting for every one of our businesses. We offer PR. We offer IT and websites design, and for all our businesses.
What you actually have is an administration that delivers what the people in the town needs to be delivered. So
yes.
So you're actually replacing politicians with an administration instead.
Yeah, and then on top of that, think about businesses that are manufacturing stuff. They need security. They need to carry boxes from here to there. They need to deliver boxes or deliver bread to bakeries in a whole radius. So we have drivers that do their 3 hours a week. People that drive, that they do that for free, right? And if we have our own diesel, plastic to diesel, which is very big part of the One Small Town business plan, we have free diesel for ourselves, for our trucks. So, so now suddenly we have free delivery and free diesel, or almost free diesel. And so now we don't have to pay for that. So you can imagine all the costs that large corporations have. We don't have those costs. We don't have to pay our security company. We don't have to pay our drivers and our delivery people and our packaging people in the factories, because we do that, our 3 hours a week or 3 hours a day. It's up to you how much time you have to contribute. So the profit margins of our businesses are much higher than the profit margins of a normal corporate structure business. And that is one of the big attractions to investors. So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, Emile, and I've said this many times, and I think we're getting very close to this. What's going to happen, we're going to find the perfect One Small Town. It could be yours. It could be the one that I've just come from the Zoom call in South Africa. And we're going to find the perfect One Small Town, and some conscious millionaire is going to go, I'm going to try this. I've got $50 million lying around. I don't know what to do with this. So let's engage with this. I've got $50 million to put in here. Let's find the cornerstone businesses to launch, to have food security and healthcare security and technology security and energy security and all this. Let's find the cornerstone businesses and let's fund those businesses to launch this one small town. It's going to take 1 millionaire to 1 billionaire to do this, right? And they're going to start that. That means they're going to be a 30% owner of all those businesses, and the community owns 60% of all those businesses, right? This is going to start a stampede. First of all, what's going to happen is this investor has now created a beautiful town for them and their family, secure town. There's no crime, because remember, we provide our own security, zero crime or virtually no crime. There's always going to be somebody causing trouble, but virtually zero crime in a beautiful environment where the town is beautiful because we make it beautiful. And I've just invested a 30% into all those businesses that make it beautiful. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to create a stampede of conscious millionaires who say, oh my God, let me find another small town, because that's a much better future investment than putting my money on the stock markets and wherever else I've been investing my money. Now,
so we're going to see the real philanthropies coming forward, not the fake ones.
But not only that, because this is the interesting problem or benefit. There are more millionaires than there are small towns in the world. You see? So I think it's going to be a stampede, and the guys with money are going to go, wow, let me find the small town and do this. This is a great idea. And before you know, these guys are going to be looking for small towns to implement the one small town strategy. I think we're probably maybe a year, maybe maximum 2 years away from that. Oh, it could happen sooner.
Yeah, it all depends on what progress we do in the world and what's going to happen in the actually next couple of months. So I think we're going to have a kickstart in these things, just because the old system is failing us too much at this point. And I don't know if you have an insight in what's happening in Sweden, but we have been a peaceful country for almost 200 years, and now the politician is saying that we're going to join NATO and actually saying that this is a too big question for the people to answer. It's a question for the politics. So we're actually more or less facing a war here now. So we're gonna need to take our opportunities when it comes to make this kind of adjustments and implement a better system that benefits us all, instead of just benefiting the 2, 3, 4%.
So now you asked your question earlier, how does the one small town grow? How does it grow? Well, think about it. First of all, not everybody is going to come and live in this small town. One of the questions is, people are going to want to come and live in this small town and everybody wants to be there. No, people want to live where they want to live. They don't want to have to relocate. They want to live in a town of their choice. So they'll want to do this in their town. So they'll then come together and say, let's do what they did over there. It's very simple. Look what they did. We can replicate it in our town. So they can do the same. And then once you have the businesses going, the community projects making your town beautiful going all the time, we're making a lot of profits from all our businesses. We're exporting a lot of stuff, but we're also making laptops and fridges and nail clippers and everything you can imagine. We're making all the stuff ourselves where possible. We have all the food that we can grow for ourselves. And what we don't have, we can then get from other small towns, and there's a whole exchange that I can talk about later. But that's a problem for a little bit further into the future. Not a problem. It's a beautiful solution for things that we can't grow ourselves or can't build ourselves. So now we have all this stuff and money coming in. Then we can constantly decide, well, let's start this business, or let's start. Let's create the Swedish national ice hockey championships, and we build an ice hockey stadium, and we say we're going to run the I'm using crazy examples. So you as a community can decide what you're going to do, or you can decide we want this town to become the center for horse racing, and say, okay, cool, and then you work towards that. That because now you got the funding, you got the money, you can reinvest the money whichever way you want.
And you can see it as, if you say, as a two-part rocket. You have one transition phase, and you have another phase when we fully developed or fully integrated in this. The new system is fully integrated.
Yeah. And then finally, I just need to take a break quickly. I just need to go to the loo for a minute. Just give me a break for a minute.
Please do, and I just pause. Back in business.
Okay, so I wanted to bring up the Infinity tokens and other future tokens that we plan to release, and the subtle difference between them. So first of all, the Infinity token is not a cryptocurrency in how people perceive cryptocurrencies. It is a private club, if you want to call it, because the One Small Town Initiative is a private club. It belongs to its members. So this is not a publicly traded cryptocurrency or token. It belongs to our One Small Town community, and it can only ever be bought or sold on the One Small Town trading platform, on our website and on our OST platform. And that is pretty much ready to be launched. It's taken a lot of time and effort, as you can imagine, alongside with our NFTs for the art galleries and artwork. We can talk about that as well. And the Infinity token is going to continue being created all the time. The more One Small Towns we have, the more members we have. Every time they work, they get an Infinity token in their digital wallet. That's it. We have issued, to start off with, as a funding mechanism, 22 million Infinity tokens to sell to the public to raise funds to fund the One Small Town office. That's it. After those 22 million tokens have been sold, there won't be any more tokens sold. The only way that people around the world can then buy tokens is to buy them from somebody who's earned the tokens by working in a One Small Town. Okay, so it is an asset-based community token. It's got real value because it's backed by real human sweat equity. So the value is going to keep going up and up and up and up. The more people, there's an algorithm that we created, that our programmers created, and the algorithm calculates the value of the token on a minute by minute, day by day basis, based on how many members we have, how many ambassadors we have, how many hours our members contribute to their projects and their towns, and how many special skills individuals we have that are performing other special skill tasks that are often very expensive. So that's all part of the algorithm, and that calculates the value of the token. It's not me. I don't sit here and say, oh, let's make the token so much.
But it's a fixed system. It's not like the system we have today, who's limitless. You need to some paper and a printer and.
Yeah, and the thing is that so you can never lose your token. First of all, so you can't lose your token. If you lose your digital wallet, which is on your phone, that means doesn't mean you've lost your tokens. They're still in your account, right? So yeah. Unlike with cryptocurrencies, if you lose your flash drive, if that's where your wallet is, that's it. Your crypto is gone, and somebody has become very rich. So that's not the case. So our crypto, our Infinity token, cannot be devalued. It cannot not be crashed by reckless traders. It cannot be attacked from outside because it's part of our community. It's a closed system. So it is a very, very stable community token that retains its value or keeps growing in value. So, you know, we put the value of the Infinity token at $40 because that's the average earnings for somebody that works for 3 hours. So you'll get, on average, you'll get $40 if you work for 3 hours. So that's what we launched the base price on, but we started it at $1. So it's slowly but surely working its way up to the true value, which is $40. So at the moment, it's totally undervalued, right? And it's
so you can recommend it as an investment for the Swedish people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and I'm gonna put the links down below with every information and how you can manage your access.
And just also to finish on the Infinity tokens and then move on to the other tokens. The Infinity token is literally, it sits in your digital wallet as a member, and you can send those tokens to anyone, anywhere in the world, as long as they've got another digital wallet, which means they're a member of One Small Town. If you're a member of One Small Town on the blockchain, you have a digital wallet in your phone or in your laptop, in your account. So if I want to send you Infinity tokens or any other tokens in the future, I can just send it to you instantly. If I know your digital wallet address, I can send it to you and you'll get it. But because each token has a specific unique code and a number attached to it, it's actually an NFT. It's not just some digital cryptocurrency token. So you can't lose it. So if something goes wrong in the transaction, we can always find it and fix it. Like, you know, if we pay the wrong person, then we can say, sorry, oops, we paid the wrong person. We can reverse it. Do you understand? So this is a community-owned system, and people can't steal your tokens because we can see who stole your tokens. So if somebody somehow hacks into your wallet and removes X amount of tokens from you, we can follow where those NFTs have gone and say, okay, well, how come you're sitting with this guy's tokens? They're not supposed to be in your wallet. Why did you steal these tokens? So anyway, so we're making it as safe as possible without encroaching on people's privacy. But you can send your tokens for free to anyone. So what we expect is going to happen is you can sell me your house. I can send you 100,000 tokens if they're worth $40 each, right? Or more. And you can sell me your house, but I'm going to send you tokens. So it happens outside of the financial system. All you do is you transfer your property into my name. So the only thing there'll be is a transfer fee. You're not selling me your house. You are giving me your house. But I've given you so many tokens, and now I have the papers as an owner for your house, the title deeds for your house. So all kinds of things are going to happen. People at the bread line are going to say, look, I need a bag of corn flour. How many tokens do you want for your bag of corn flour? And say, give me 2 tokens. Okay, give you 2 tokens and you give me your bag of corn flour. That's it. It can be from that basic kind of exchange. It's not bartering and trading. It's really an exchange. And this will probably start happening in various ways that we can't predict. But you as the member, and that happens free. The exchange of tokens happens for free. Where we're going to charge a small fee is on the One Small Town trading platform, where it's like an eBay, willing seller, willing buyer. It's not a cryptocurrency trading platform where you put you sell your tokens and you expect your money immediately. No, we have you want to sell some tokens, you put them on the platform, you say, this is how much I want, and somebody who wants to buy them will buy them from you. Now, keep in mind, there's a minimum that we allow our members to sell them, so they can't crash the system, right? Okay. There's a maximum number of tokens that we allow in the beginning now, and we allow people to buy every month. So you can't buy up all the tokens and suddenly destroy the system. So we've put in all the protection mechanisms so that it serves the community, it serves the people, and not the wealthy that want to exploit the system.
Can you say these things we're talking about now is almost the same as we were talking about before, using the tools of enslavement to free ourselves? So
yes,
loads of people is afraid of all the things, those QR codes and digital wallets, and because the knowledge isn't there, you can only see the dark parts of it. But we need to use those tools to actually free ourselves and make it a tool, not a shackle.
Yeah. So that's what the Infinity token is all about. And at some stage there can be no Infinity tokens available to buy anywhere unless you've earned them. Unless you're contributing towards One Small Town. So I think at that stage, those who are not contributing but want to buy the tokens, that's when the value of those tokens is probably going to go up quite a lot, because people are going to want to buy them, but they're not available. Only if you as a member wants to sell them. So that's going to be a very interesting time. So once we've sold 22 million tokens, after that, no more available unless you choose to sell your token. And you work to earn your token. That's it. Right? So very important. That's why it's very powerful, very, very powerful. And in essence, it is an alternative for the current socioeconomic or the financial system. It is an instant replacement tool. So if our financial systems should crash tomorrow, we already have the tool to replace it. I mean, think about it. We could decide to say, log on, open your OST bank account, your OST membership account, get your digital wallet, and we'll put 1 million tokens in there. And this way we could save the world, actually give people something to trade with. If everything shuts down and closes down, there are no banks, we could step in instantly and create an alternative solution. And everyone can participate for free instantly. You see where I'm going with this? I'm not saying we're going to do this. In fact, this is the worst thing that we could ever do. But if the banks collapse tomorrow and all the central banks shut down, we could step in and create an instant solution.
Yeah, we're gonna need the bridges. Those are going to be very important in the whole system change to have those small, because we're not going to be able to transform 200 years or 2,000 years of history and things to do. How we've been doing stuff overnight. We need to find the bridges.
Yeah. So that's the Infinity token, just a very exciting evolution of the One Small Town initiative, which we didn't expect even a year ago. This idea was starting to be born. So we've come a long way in 12 months. And now I want to talk about the other token. So we're about to launch a new token, which is the seed bank token, which is very important because we are now working with this technology to treat seeds in a specific way that creates a very stable DNA. It strips all the genetic GMO crap from the seeds. We're talking about the most important ones like corn and wheat and etc. And then all the seeds from all the fruit and vegetables, all of it. It creates stable seeds, stable DNA. And then so we take them through the process It's all sound frequencies and electromagnetic treatment or magnetic field treatment, and the results are just unbelievable. And we create a stable DNA, a hybrid seed, or a stable seed for the one small town community. And then those seeds are going to be, first of all, we're going to have to code them. We're going to have to put markers in them to claim them as one small town property. Because if we don't do that, this is really important. This is using the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. That's how deep you have to think. Because if we don't put markers, if we, for example, create an incredibly strong, robust, organic heirloom seed or a natural DNA for corn, if we don't put our own markers in it and claim it as one small town property, Monsanto will steal it from us, and they'll prevent us from growing our own seeds. You see how screwed up the world is. So we literally have to go to these extremes to protect our future seeds that belong to the one small town community. And then those seeds are then shared with our one small town seed farmers. They grow the seeds on small properties, on small farms, and those seeds are then sold to the commercial farmers. And that's a huge business for the one small town members. Huge.
Be a huge difference in people's health as well. So
absolutely,
it's going to make it's going to be a big impact when
there's one, Emile. There's one very important thing that I missed. You see how complicated? It's not complicated. How integrated this is. Everything feeds into everything else, and that's what I call it: an integrated community development system or a development plan, because everything supports everything else. So just imagine now we have all our farms growing all this food. We have our making fridges and laptops and bicycles and anything you can imagine. What do we do with all that stuff? It has to go somewhere, right?
Hopefully.
So this is where we create the one small town superstore. So the heart, in essence, to start off with, we create a one small town superstore. And parallel to that will be the one small town art gallery. But let's first talk about the one small town superstore. Into the superstore will come all the food that we make, everything, all the jams, everything that goes in there. And this is where we store it. So it's a warehouse for storage and a retail space like Walmart. Same thing. So now we're going into competition with Walmart and all the big retailers because we make the stuff ourselves. We can sell it a lot cheaper than Walmart or anybody else. You know what the consequences of that is. With our one small town superstore, we can bring back all the small shops that were closed by the big supermarkets. You know, these big supermarkets come into the small towns and they close down all the small shops. So those small shops can reopen and be part of the one small town superstore. So we're breathing life back into the small businesses that have been closed by the big Walmarts. This is huge. This is really, really important. And
it's a big thing to keep. If you say you keep the energy in your local community instead of what we do today with some strange company in Luxembourg or something. So
yeah.
We keep the energy.
So what will happen is all the big supermarkets will not be able to compete with us and they will close down. We're actually pushing out Walmart from our town. They're not going to be able to survive. Walmart or any other such a large store. They're just using our people as slave labor. And if they no longer need them, they shut the store down and everybody loses their job. With the one small town superstore, it belongs to us. It belongs to us, the people. It can never be shut down, can never put us out of jobs, out of work. And from there, we export everything we want to export, bring the cash back, distribute the money. This is our business. We own it, or we own a minimum of 60% of it. And you can just do some numbers, do some statistical projection of what the possibility of such a superstore is. It is unbelievable, right? Now,
I think the problem is going to be the other way around. It's going to be overproducing. So the key thing is going to be keeping the production in line with what the people in the town.
but keep in mind that if we overproduce stuff, it's us. We can then choose what to do with it. If we have too much corn or too much this or too much that, we say, okay, if we overproduce it, we can't store it, then we're going to turn it into something else. And we create, the whole thing is we create value chain. Okay, so we use corn and we make everything possible that we can make from corn. And we use wheat, we make everything possible we can make from wheat. We'll have bakeries and things going crazy. And this is why when you said, what is the extension and expansion of one small town? We have to start new businesses all the time. We need to start a pharmaceutical company to make health and wellness products, to make shampoos, healthy shampoos and toothpaste and detergent and pesticides and farm nutrients for the farmers. All of these are businesses that we start in our small town. It is limitless. It is totally and utterly limitless. It takes a little while for the penny to drop, but once you realize, and now once you realize that you can do anything in your one small town community, once you have the cash flow and the funds coming in, we can keep starting new businesses every week. And the big thing is that you're a member, you're a part of a global one small town community. So if you decide from Sweden, you want to go visit your brother in Australia for a year, you arrive in Australia and you go to the one small town in Australia that you choose. You arrive at the one small town office. You say, hi, I'm going to be in town for 6 months to 12 months. You give them your one small town membership card. They scan your QR code. And they say, welcome, John, or welcome, Emile. They'll know exactly what you've contributed to your town, what your skills are, where they can use you, what your specialities are, how you can benefit that community in Australia, the way that you are benefiting your community in Sweden. And they can immediately put you to work in one of their businesses so you become a contributor to that town. The moment you sign up as a member, all you have to do is contribute your 3 hours a week. They'll tell you what to do. And you start getting your monthly benefits, your basket of goods, and your dividends from all the businesses. That's how simple it is. So you can choose to go and live in any town in the world because you're a member of one small town. And this is really important.
You have managed to do a lot in the last 18 years. It's been a hell of a ride. I've actually been studying you or watching you the whole time. So, and it's interesting how we are actually the phase we are in society today. Today is it's going to be the breaking point for one small town, and if it's not, I think we're going to have a very dark future. And
it's okay. I believe that we're going to solve the problem. We're going to create this new alternative reality, this new system that's going to make the old system obsolete. And I don't want to talk about this in detail on public channels, but you can reach your own conclusions. If pretty much all the small towns of the world start to do this, what happens to government? What happens to security? What happens to the technology we use in our security? What happens to the technology that we release to all the small towns? Technology that people don't even know exists. All our small towns will benefit from that technology. You can't shut it down. How is it going to transform our governments and the power? Because remember, the people that are in the police and the army all have mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters that live in small towns everywhere. It's going to be a very interesting transition, or just an awakening to say, oh, wow, we're no longer being controlled by the people who thought that they were controlling us.
And another thing that is going to be a really big thing is the whole thing about doing something that you're motivated to do, comparing that to do it for money. So when we just get over these hurdles and people actually invest there, if you take your 40 hours a week and you contribute your 3 hours on those projects and you have your other 37 hours, you're not going to be laying on the sofa because you're going to be productive. And if you have the right projects around you and no economical hurdles, that's when the whole thing is gonna totally click, because we have so much more energy, and we're giving out so much more energy that we are really needing to have this society in this level.
Yeah. And just finally, I want to just bring in our art galleries. We are about to launch our first art gallery in Ras El Mat in Lebanon. The gallery is already open. The local artists have contributed and display their art in the art gallery. And One Small Town literally changes the way that art is displayed and sold. So as you become a member of One Small Town, and we set up an art gallery. It can be an old warehouse, it can be a barn, just as long as it's a big space. We got lots of space to display lots of works of art. It can also be where people teach art, where they teach pottery and sculpting, where we have a music studio. Next door, we can have a live music venue where we create another barn or a warehouse for live music performances and a theater. So it almost becomes like an artistic cultural hub in our small town, where all the creative arts come and be expressed. That's automatically a tourism attraction. It becomes a money-making business for the community. But the key thing about the art is our artists sign up, they become members, they come and put their art in there. All the art that goes in there gets turned into NFTs. It gets displayed on our website, on the One Small Town Art Gallery, Ras El Matan website, every item, all the information. And then we sell both the physical art and the NFT, which is a copy of the art. And we do once a month auctions for our artists. The artists get 60% of the original sale. The gallery takes 30% to run and manage the costs of the gallery. And the 10% goes to the One Small Town office and the international office. So very simple, the same structure right across everything we do. But the key thing is that now you're going to have a place where you can teach art. That 30% that the gallery keeps is to pay teachers and to find experts to come and do lectures and arts and so forth, and find teachers to come and teach different arts and have a music studio, or put a music studio in, or an edit suite, or a whatever, or pay for the building of the theater or whatever. And then the NFTs, the artworks is the NFTs, and the artists, every time the work of art is then sold after this, or the NFT is sold, the artist still receives a 10% royalty from every future sale. So in essence, the artists will become like authors or musicians that receive royalties from the sale of their music or the sale of their books. Until now, you make a painting, you sell it for $1,000. 10 years later, somebody sells it for $1 million, and suddenly it becomes worth $20 million, and you as the artist got nothing from it. So we're changing that. So the artists benefit from their brilliant work forever. And once we launch the first One Small Town Art Gallery, you can imagine no artist is going to want to put their work of art in any other gallery. So
and it works with the same with music and everything, I guess.
Exactly. It's the same. Now we're bringing art into the same area that musicians and authors have become very wealthy from royalties. Now the artists can become, at least survive, most of them survive from the ongoing royalties. And the art remains on the website and is constantly available for new offers, for people to make an offer. They can see what it was sold for, what it was last sold 6 months ago for $10,000. Wow, I love this one. I'll make a bid for $20,000. I love that work of art. I want it. So the art gallery platform is constantly open with all the works of art, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And anyone can come online and make a bid and an offer for any work of art that is on display in our art gallery. And the artists then benefit from that sale.
It's an important thing to bring back, because the whole situation we've been living through the last couple of years. Every musician, every painter, has more or less died out. because of the situation. So we need to, and it's a key thing in society to have these things to keep the joy and keep the creativity and happiness.
Yeah. So that's pretty much where we are right now. What's happening? It's growing and evolving every day. Every day we work on the blockchain platform. It gets stronger and bigger every day, and more functionality. So let's get One Small Town Sweden off the ground.
It's going to be an interesting ride, and I'm happy to finally get it starting after 17 years. So, but I guess everything has its right time, and now it's the right time to make this happen. I really enjoy you taking your time, and I really appreciate it. And I wanted to finish off with a question that, and an answer that I haven't been able to find. I know you in some videos are talking about the basic rules of a society, that we don't need a law book that's have 14. If we have 14,000 laws in Sweden and we can't even understand it. And I know you've been talking about 5 things or similar to 5 things that we could actually manage to have a society working around.
Well, everything basically comes back to the fundamental laws of nature and common law. Common laws, don't steal, do no harm, and treat others as you like to be treated by them. Those 3 fundamental principles. And if we just adhere to those from a conscious perspective, then we don't need all these other laws. Remember, all the laws that we have in our world today those are mostly laws associated with the capitalist and commercial structure. It's to do with commercial enterprise corporations, the laws of corporations, the rights of corporations, the rights of humans and human beings and subjects and citizens and all that. So the laws we have and the way the courtrooms work is not to benefit humanity and to deal with life and society and how to solve our little problems in communities. That's not.
To be totally honest, it's misspelling to say it's a law. Law is Newton or Ohm or those things that are equal for all human beings, no matter where you are on this planet. Those are the things that are laws. That these things are rules. Regulations
made by people that have some sort of a vested interest to protect their interests some way. Yeah. But this is all going to unfold and evolve on its own. Keep in mind that in a One Small Town society, when it functions properly, and people feel absolutely free to follow any kind of career or follow their life's passions and become a sculptor or a painter or a rocket scientist or anything, because you're supported by a community and you can do that. And if it's a thing that the community likes, the community will fund it. They'll say, wow, we'd love to create a racetrack in our town. Let's build a racetrack. And that becomes your thing. I'm using crazy examples here now. But so the moment you feel free and you have freedom in your community, you can live where you want to. You can have your house designed the way you want to and have it built for yourself for free. Eventually, all these things will happen for free because we'll have the architects, the designers, the building materials, the builders, because their job is to build houses for our community, right? That's their 3 hours a week contribution or more. Or it'll be a company that we start of builders that offer their services to everybody else, but at the same time builds houses for ourselves for free with the building materials that we grow and that we create for free for ourselves. So once you live in this kind of society, you're not thinking of survival. You're not worried that someone's going to screw you over. That's not going to be happening. So you're going to be thinking about how to make the world a better place and find solutions for all the problems that we still face, the remaining problems that we face. It changes everything. It changes how we think, changes where we live, what we do, who we get married to, how we socialize, how our entertainment works, how the transport, what kind of technology we use. It changes everything.
It's going to be an interesting thing to actually to experience or see this happening, because it's an you're not going to be able to stop this idea. There's no way. The only way you can stop this idea is by getting coming up with a better idea. And I don't know. I've been looking for let's say 25 years now, and I still haven't found a better solution. So yeah, we're gonna see this change in the world sooner or later, and yeah, let's hope sooner, so we can transform ourselves out of this slavery system and into a free world. Because if we're going to grow as people, we can't be locked in cage. We need to be free. That's the fundamental in everything, in love, and all the parts in life is meant to be based on freedom.
So, Emile, what I just want to say, if you want to kickstart this in Sweden, please talk to me. We can talk on WhatsApp. It's quicker, easier, and we can launch this. We're going to need to find out who's going to be the ambassador for Sweden. Appoint that ambassador. There's a certain responsibility attached to it, obviously, and it's a serious thing now, because we're getting into a very serious stage of launching One Small Town. Then we need to find the people in the town that are going to stand up and say, right, I'll be the ambassador for this town. The people that support the ambassador, the project managers, the people that'll drive it, and we can launch this very quickly. We can launch this in a matter of days. So let me know how you want to take this forward.
I will keep in contact with you, Michael. So the next step is to set the people who's going to be involved in the project and have full consent, and with those people that they're ready to put in the time and the effort that's going to be needed to make it work. But as you said, I think we got a good base to stand on in Sweden. So yeah. So let's keep in contact, and let's yeah, I will start off by appointing or taking the whole someone to be an ambassador, and the people underneath who's going to help him or her. And when I'm finished, and when I feel that we need to get in phase 2 or in real life, and we're going to be able to work fully in it, I will contact you again, because I guess there's going to be a couple of questions that we need to talk around how to.
Yeah, they always are. Especially when people come on board, we need to show them and teach them everything that's going on. But also keep in mind that we have regular meetings once a week, a Zoom call with all our ambassadors to keep them updated. So once you become an ambassador, once you are an ambassador either of the country or a town, then you join the ambassadors' Zoom calls, and they ask questions, especially of the technology, the platform, the blockchains, all that. So they're constantly updated and up to speed of how to carry on implementing and more effectively the One Small Town in their communities.
Perfect. So if I just email you my WhatsApp details, we can add each other there, and then I will get the one that we appoint as ambassador. I will see that he joins the Zoom meetings, because that's a good platform to have to stand on, and not laying everything on your shoulders, because I guess.
Yeah, look. We have a few people that handle also the ambassadors coming on board. They make sure that they fill in the right forms, they sign the NDA. There's a whole procedure that we're putting ambassadors through now as well, because we start to share sensitive information, and we need to make sure that everything is protected.
Perfect. I just want to say a really big thank you to Michael, both for the interview today and the hope that you actually been giving me the last couple of the last 20 years. It's been a nice part in my life to always go back to when I see the dark times and I don't feel too happy about society and the whole Ubuntu and one small thing is I think that I always been falling back on and seeing as a good part in society, or a hope for a better future for our children and the rest of the.
Well, thank you, Emile. Thanks for your interest and your energy, and I look forward to hearing from you again.
Thank you, Michael, and have a good day.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
Ciao.